Hey guys, in today's video we're visiting Swan Dike Trail in Pitt Meadows, British Columbia, which is about an hour's drive away from downtown Vancouver. The start of the trail can be a bit hard to find, so I've marked off the 3 segments of the trail in this map here, and you can find the parking lot in the top left corner between parts 1 and 3. We arrived around 10 a.m. on a Sunday in July and were still able to find parking, and I found that the hikes in Pitt Meadows are not nearly as busy as the popular ones in North Vancouver. We were surprised that it was still paid parking this far out from Vancouver, and it was $6 for the whole day. The Swan Dike Trail is very low-key and is embedded in other longer trails, but essentially we're following that upside-down triangle that goes along Pitt River and into some forest areas. We decided to start with the top horizontal segment, which is marked as number 3 in the diagram. In the main picnic area, a lot of people brought their own boats or paddleboards to enjoy a quiet and serene day on the lake, and it's nice that it's not overcrowded at all. The trail starts off strong with a beautiful view of Pitt Lake on one side and mountains all around you. It was unfortunately very cloudy the day we went, so the skies were quite gray, but it was still a lot of fun watching the boats on the water and spotting various wildlife. Here you can see a little nest with some birds perched on top. There's a group of geese here and a clip of one diving into the water. And I think this one is a heron just hanging out. Anyways, super peaceful and quiet. The first stretch was definitely my favorite. There's a lookout point here that was unfortunately closed off for some reason, and after a while you can actually see on the right side of the trail a ton of lily pads start to cover the water. You don't really get to see this kind of scenery in Vancouver much, so it was a nice change from the usual views along the sea to sky. I also like how it's more of a trail than a hike, since the whole loop is entirely flat, making this trail more accessible for all ages. I would definitely rate it an easy compared to other more popular hikes, and I also like how it's very open and you get to take in the views in all directions as compared to some of the shaded trails in Metro Vancouver, which are mostly covered with dense trees. That wraps up the first third of the hike, and now we turn towards the second segment. The vibe changes only slightly, as now we have this mountain on the left side and still a gorgeous view of the lily pads on the right side. If you look closely, you can see some pretty white lilies on the water too. We saw a lot of cool looking birds throughout the trail. A couple people looked like serious bird watchers, so I suppose this is probably a good place to do some of that. There are also a few blackberry bushes for you to pick your own blackberries, which we did end up trying a couple and were actually pretty good. Look at this beautiful heron we found. Oh, and another smaller one here. Not sure what my partner is doing here, but he says that these plants are easy to cut off with your finger or something. Anyways, just looks like wildlife disruption to me. Moving on, we found a dam-looking structure here that I'd like to think was built by a beaver. The waters are super clear, and you can see these seaweed or algae-looking things really clearly in the water. Oh, I actually heard rustling in the bushes in this area and caught a glimpse of a snake before I went running for my life, so that's something you might want to keep an eye out for. There was someone on a boat trying to catch fish, but I'm not sure what the success rate would be in this area. We finally found a lookout point that was open and had a great view of these little marshlands. The third and last segment of the trail was the shortest and actually felt a little eerie because the trees kind of close in from the sides to form these walkways. I imagine it would be pretty creepy at nighttime. We sped through the last bit of the trail and finished in about 2 hours total, including all of the rest time and time taken to film. If you want, you could definitely bike or run the entire trail. Overall, we really enjoyed it and would highly recommend checking it out, especially since it isn't very far at all from Vancouver. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.